Such an important conversation to have. Well, now it's time for our weekly medical checkup. And first up, we're looking at a new study on weight loss that found intermittent fasting could be more effective than simply cutting calories. And we've also got a look at the importance of regular checkups for teenagers, as new research shows addressing heart disease risk factors during adolescence could lower the risk later in life. We have NBC News medical contributor, our friend Dr. Vin Gupta, joining us to discuss these headlines. Hi, Dr. Gupta. Always great to see you. So good morning. Our first study, this is so interesting to me because I've heard so many good things, but then also so many bad things about intermittent fasting. But this one specifically looked at the fact that it's led to more weight loss than just cutting calories. I have heard certain things, so like for women with hormonal changes and stuff, it can put your body under stress. So what do you say about something like this? Does this mean that intermittent fasting is the better approach for weight management? And tell us what people should keep in mind if they're thinking about trying it.
Yeah, well, good morning, Savannah. This is a really critical topic. This study found that intermittent fasting, so say 16 hours where you're really not eating anything, 8 hours where you're really trying to fit in your caloric intake in a day, say for 3 days a week, and then the other 4 days you're eating freely, that results in about 8% weight loss after about a year, 5% with traditional calorie restrictions, just cutting out a meal or just minimizing your intake. And so really the point here is that, yes, there was a modest effect size towards intermittent fasting. It wasn't huge, but it's something to consider. And so from a doctor's orders perspective, I would advise whether you're doing calorie restriction or intermittent fasting, which is worth the try. It can really rev up your metabolism. Start slowly, stay hydrated, and plan your meals. It's going to avoid things like junk eating or just reflex snacking.
Yeah, whenever I've done intermittent fasting, that stay hydrated is a big one. I'm like chugging water during the fasting period. Dr. Gupta, let's look at this new scientific statement. This is from the American Heart Association, which says that many young people might be missing a crucial opportunity to prevent heart disease. What is that opportunity? What should people know about protecting their heart health? How do you know if you're on the road to heart disease?
Yeah, this is really keying in on the fact that when folks go from adolescence to adulthood, Savannah, they're not making a primary care appointment. They're not getting screened. There's actually data showing that physical activity levels decline after high school, and so high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity really can start to set in, especially in the setting of not getting screened. So here's, from a doctor's orders perspective, things that you can do. Number one, establish healthy eating habits and really establish routines like that annual primary care appointment. Savannah, we're talking about silent killers here that young adults don't realize they may actually start having in their 20s, and it can cascade.
Dr. Gupta, also our phones, of course, a constant source of distraction. This last study, though, it looked at the fact that even when you're not necessarily just looking at your phone, we still find other ways to procrastinate. I'm definitely in this camp. What can we do to stay on task?
Well, the study found that people use phones even 2 more times when it's in reach, that notifications didn't really impact the utilizations of phones, and that if it wasn't within reach, we all found different ways to distract ourselves, say with a laptop or another type of device. So, what can you do? Doctor's orders here to minimize digital use. It's the stuff that you and I have talked about many times before. It's silencing your notifications. It's trying to change your habits. Do not disturb is important at night, especially for a good night's sleep. And really trying to lean in, if you can, physical activity without a phone. If you can do that, if you need your music, maybe do it through a different device. But those are the things to really focus on.
Dr. Vin Gupta, thank you very much. Good headlines today. Great to have you. We're coming up, a real pain at the